Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Placer High School, welcome to Lefebvre Stadium and the 2021 Placer High Homecoming Game. Tonight we welcome the Knights of Rio Linda High School as they take on your Placer Hillman.
You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI.
All right, we're all set to kick off. As mentioned before we went to the break, the Rio Linda Knights have elected to kick the football to your Placer Hillman. So Prieto and Davis, two of the main cogs in this team who are enjoying senior night, will be set to return. And Phantom, this bodes well for Placer, because the last time this happened, obviously last week, they went right down the field and scored a touchdown.
Absolutely, and you're looking for more of the same. As we talked about, you're looking for execution. You want to get some sharpness, get some crispness, get ready, use this game. Obviously, you have to win the game, but you're using it to get yourself sharp for the two games that are going to follow.
So Rivas will set to kick this one for the Knights of Rio Linda. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies, 1221 Grass Valley Highway. Phantom, the website.
AuburnTrophies.com on your internet.
He never told a lie, folks. Davis and Prieto back to receive this kickoff. And it's going to be a squib kick, which goes right to Placer in the middle of the field. Rio Linda catching the Hillman of Placer by surprise. And Placer has retained possession, so a scary sight right there. Onside kick almost went to the Knights of Rio Linda.
I don't know if it was an actual onside kick or if it just was a poor kick, but it did the job. It hit Placer right in the breadbasket and almost bounced out right back toward the Knights, but the Hillmen are able to control it.
So Placer will begin this drive, the first one of the game, at their own 48 with 11:57 to play. Andy Hall in the shotgun to start. He's going to give it off to Lavelle Davis, and Lavelle Davis is broken free. Stiff arms, 130, 25, 20, 15, 10. There goes Lavelle! Touchdown! Placer Hillman! Lavelle Davis, the first play of the game from scrimmage. The first touchdown of the day, and it was the first run for LD. He's picked up right where he left off in Nevada, Phantom.
19 touchdowns on the season on the ground and one more through the air. 20 touchdowns for Davis. He got back on track last week, as you said, and doesn't look like he's slowed down any at all.
52 yards as Lavelle Davis puts it in, and the Hillmen, all they need is one play to put it in, and they lead 6-0. PAT for Ramirez as they wait. Snap good, hold good, kick is up. It is beautiful and good. 7-0 just like that for your Placer Hillman. What else is left to say there, Phantom? We dialed it up perfection on the first play of the game.
Absolutely, and we talked about execution. Obviously they did there, but the important thing, again, adding that PAT on the end, because as we go down to the end of the season, those points are going to mean a lot more, and you want to get that down. So they use this as kind of a training ground, and let's get that extra point in. It looked great.
Well, you touched on it, Phantom. That's one of the, I guess you could say, situations or just in general genres of this team that has struggled in the last couple of weeks, just kicking the football and getting the PATs.
Right, and a couple of times it looked recently like the kick was going to be fine, but the snap and the exchange was not good. So it's all stuff that you've got to work on, and they hopefully get a couple of chances to do so tonight.
So Ramirez is back to kick this one away. All it took was Placer to get one play from scrimmage, and they put the football in the end zone. So Francisco Bonilla and Brown are back to receive this kick as Ramirez sends this one flying inside the 10. And it's going to be Bonilla who returns it out across the 10, but immediately swallowed up by a slew of green Placer jerseys. And they will start this drive, the Rio Linda Knights, inside their own 15.
A part of the Placer Hillman attack or a scheme that's always worked. It seems to have worked very well so far this year, Keith, and that is the kick coverage. A couple of slip-ups during the season, but for the most part, really done well at holding the teams and getting them their starting position inside the 20-yard line.
Del Real got the stop and the tackle on the kickoff, number 21. So this drive starts at the Rio Linda 14 for Bonilla and company. Shotgun formation for the Rio Linda Knights. 2 wide outs to the near side. As Bonilla will take it himself up the middle, he'll get a couple. He gets maybe a gain of 1 or 2 on that one. And second and long coming up. Gain of 1, so second and 9 coming up.
Coming into this game, Anthony Grawn, number 11, the 6'1" junior, has been primarily the primary offensive weapon, responsible for about 60% of the offense for Rio Linda, the Knights so far.
They've also got Martin, number 15, who they're really high on as far as potential goes, the 6'3" sophomore. So now Bonilla and company back in the shotgun on second down. 11:02 to play in the first quarter. Bonilla drops back to pass. Going to keep it now, zips it towards the middle of the field. And that one a little out of reach, intended for number 9. And that was Jackson.
Looked like Bonilla had some room there, Keith, as far as a lane opened up as he went back to pass. He probably could have kept going and got some yardage. Saw Jackson breaking free and try to hit him on a slant.
Rio Linda on the year 1-6, trying to find their way. Placer at 1-5, but definitely not a 1-5 team. Just had a couple of bad spots here or there during the season. Now you got third and long with 10:57 to go from the Rio Linda 15. 3 wide outs to the near side. Bonilla drops back, zips it towards the sideline, intercepted at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Placer Newman! Number 11, Cole Shepard with the interception.
Shepard, one of the juniors that Placer has primarily on their defense, and that was just a slant play that was thrown over the head of the receiver right to Shepard. Make the catch, went right into the end zone, 20 yards.
We got an injured player down near the 15, and the Gold Mine student section alive and well. Placer Hillman alive and well. They lead 13-0. So Ramirez, the junior, is back to kick another consecutive PAT. Placer missed only 1 last week in the win against Nevada Union. So here we go. PAT, 10:49 to go. A little high snap. They control it. It's up and good. And so 2 consecutive touchdowns plus the PAT makes it 14-0 Hillman with 10:49 to play in the first.
Yeah, you mentioned it was a little high snap, handled well by the holder, and got it down for the kick to go through. So yeah, obviously a minute and 11 into the game, nothing really bad has happened for the Hillmen so far, and a lot of good.
So the Hillmen, who have gotten off to slow starts in the season, tonight not a slow start at all when you consider they've had 14 points put on the board in less than 2 minutes. And this has got to be a good sign for Joey Montoya and his crew to see this kind of momentum and these kind of plays being made early.
Yeah, we talked about it in the pregame, Keith. The execution is important today. You want to sharpen up your execution. You're getting more of your players back. You're getting a full team, so you want to have them working together and executing. And so far, obviously, 1 play on offense, so they executed pretty well.
Ramirez back to kick this off. Auburn Trophies, 1221 Grass Valley Highway. Phantom?
AuburnTrophies.com.
You nailed it. Ramirez sends this one flying. Bonilla will take it at the 10-yard line. He bobbles it, now picks it up at the 10, tries to spin his way out of it, and he's wrestled down near the 13-yard line. So Bonilla muffs the kick, but is able to regain it, spins his way out of 1 for a gain of maybe 1 yard.
Checking out the stats for Rio Linda, Keith, they have 3 players that have thrown passes, and Bonilla is one of them. Let's see, maybe though, as you mentioned, Martin has thrown some passes as well this year, so let's see if they alternate back there.
10:43 to play as Rio Linda will start this drive, by the looks of it, at their own 14 again. Same spot where they started the first drive in the contest as Bonilla lines up in the shotgun, 2 wide outs to the near side, 2 wide outs to the far side. Bonilla takes the snap, now going to hand it off and trying to find some room as Rio Linda, and they're dropped in the backfield as Placer is right there. Number 11, Grimes, got the handoff up the middle, tried to bounce it out to the near side, but he loses one.
Yeah, that's Grom that has done most of the running for Rio Linda, so I guess they figured we threw a couple of passes last time. Let's try our best player and see if we can get him outside, but too much penetration from the Hillman defense.
Chris Avery and Diego Perez make the tackle in the backfield. 2nd and 11 coming up with 10-10 to play from the Rio Linda 13. Bonilla fakes the pass, tries to go up the middle, and no one was there, and he got met at the line. And the Placer defense is going crazy to start this game, Phantom.
Yeah, and that's something that you're going to look to. Hasn't really been under the spotlight. There have been a lot of high-scoring games so far this season, so you haven't really thought about it as much, but that's a situation where if the defense can clamp down these last 3 games, make it a lot easier for the Hillmen.
Kaza makes the tackle. He's one of those Hillmen that Joey Montoya said has progressed very well this year as the season has gone on. Now you got 3rd and long again for a 2nd consecutive drive. 9:32 to play in the first. Bonilla back to pass, takes off and runs. He will be short, very well short of the first down, as the Hillmen force another 3 and out.
Yeah, that time it looked like Bonilla went back to pass and didn't really look at his receivers too much and decided to take off, close down a lot the pincher-like movement of the Placer linebackers.
Perez makes the tackle at the middle of the 17-yard line. 9:07 to play, and so now Lavelle Davis will be back to punt, receive the punt near the Rio Linda 47.
I would think they would say, don't punt it to Lavelle Davis if you can. If you can possibly help it, do not punt it to him.
Gunning back to punt. You've seen what Lavelle Davis can do running the football. It's a fake. Now they're going to throw it and bombs away on the kick. Lavelle will fair catch it at the Placer 48. He had some room, a little more than he thought. Thought he might have gotten away with maybe getting that one back a little bit, but nope, fair catch.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have a fake too, as the punter ran to his right very urgently, but then he just kicked a nice punt, and then Lavelle was kind of wavering underneath it, shooting for the fair catch.
So as we get 1st and 10 from the Hillman 48, we welcome the Placer alumni back home, and that's what makes this so special. We get a whistle now. Wait and see what the whistle is about, but this is what makes it so great, this fraternity.
Yeah, I think it was just a homecoming whistle. I think the referee wanted to go. Maybe he went to Placer.
He just wanted a party.
He said, I went to Placer, I'm going to blow my whistle, and there you go.
Class of, what do you think, 77?
I'm going to say 89? 77 would be nice, but that, I think...
Longevity.
Yeah, actually, he's been doing this for a long time. Yeah, he's probably an old coach, yeah.
8:43 to go, 1st and 10, as Placer will hand it off. And around the left side towards the far sideline, and a great run back there at the 35 is Parada. And so a great run there by Gage Parada, the senior. And GP, who's been banged up a little bit these last couple of weeks, takes this football all the way down to the Rio Linda 33.
Yeah, great to see Gage Parada back out there, and he's another one of the contingent we talked about who hasn't been out there. I think he's only played 3 games this season, but great to see him back and working him into the offense. A great night for that for the Hillmen.
So Andy Hall gets the call. Now this drive will continue at the Rio Linda 33. 1 play is all it took for the Hillmen to get into Rio Linda territory. Shotgun formation. Andy Hall drops back to pass. Floats it toward the near side. That one's caught by Parada, 25. Makes one man miss. Still going as he's finally wrestled down the near side. Outside the hashes at the 23.
Looked like that time Parada could have kept going to the outside. He decided to cut back in, and they allowed the defense to catch up with him. But I was wondering if they're going to go ahead and let Andy Hall air it out a little bit tonight. Let him get some reps out there. Hasn't thrown the ball a lot this year. Hasn't had a lot of success. So let's go ahead and get him on the right track tonight. Gain
of about 9. It's 2nd and short coming up from the Rio Linda 24. Now they go up the middle, and it's Luca Collins, who's out at the 10, as Super Luca's inside the 10. He took a couple of Knights with him on that one. It's at least a gain of 20. So Luca Collins, who has slowly but surely made his way into a focal point of this offense.
Yes, he has, and it's good. It's good to see a lot of different weapons, and obviously the holes being cleared up front by the offensive line is key to what's going on right now.
They're going to give him officially a gain of 16 on the run by Luca Collins to move the chains. It's 1st and goal coming up for the Hillmen with 7:18 to go in the first quarter. Hall going to hand it up the middle to Lavelle Davis, who bounces it outside, and Lavelle... No, it's not Lavelle, it's a fake. In the end zone is a touchdown. Placer Hillman. Touchdown, Hillman. So a great run there as some trickery with the wing tee. We didn't even know where the football was. And Gage Parada is the rookie member who comes up with a touchdown.
So Gage Parada, yes, a very good sleight of hand by Andy Hall on that one. Had everybody up here mystified as we're all following the guy around the corner. He didn't have the ball. Parada runs it in, and it's now 20-0, and we get practice on another PAT.
The Hillmen have come out gangbusters. They lead 20-0 with 7:09 to play in the first. Another PAT. Snap good, kick good, up and right through the uprights. 21-0. Your Placer Hillman with 7:09 to go. Phantom, hope you didn't take the over in this, or hope you did take the over.
I did take the over. Yeah, we're not even 5 minutes in, 3 touchdowns. I'm not really surprised by that. Rio Linda giving it their all, but right now they're overmatched. Let's see what happens. It starts obviously with the defense, and they haven't allowed Bonilla or anybody else to get going for the Knights. And so everything working so far for Placer, and they're just working on different things and letting different guys touch the ball.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, senior night. Every senior is touching the rock so far. Lavelle's already got in the end zone for 1. Gage Parada with the trickery on that last touchdown from 8 yards out. So the Hillmen slowly but surely getting these seniors involved, and they lead 21-0 comfortably in this one.
Yeah, seniors coming out tonight, and looking at the roster, preparing for this game, really impressed by the number of key juniors that the Hillmen have on the roster. There's a lot of hope. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, obviously, but for the next season, there's a lot of guys going to be coming back and being seniors.
Ramirez's kick is a little high as it goes towards about the 15-yard line, and taking this one out to the 40, 45, 50. Near the middle of the field is Grom, and he gets a great return there. And it goes to the 50-yard line on the return by Grime. So the Placer Hillmen got a little lackadaisical there, and Grime takes it out to midfield.
Yeah, we talked about Grime being the key to their offense, and I think we just saw it there. He had a little bit of room because the kickoff was a little short, as you said, and he got the ball and broke a couple of tackles and brought it back about 30 yards.
So this ball officially marked at the Rio Linda 49, so the best field position that Rio Linda has had to start this game so far.
And you know Joey Montoya doesn't want his guys getting lackadaisical, as you mentioned, Keith.
No, not at all. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Rio Linda looking to finally put some points on the board. Now we're going to get a whistle and a timeout from the Knights. That's their first timeout of the game. They've got 2 remaining. Under center. They're going to hand it off to Grom up the middle. He is wrestled down in the backfield for a loss of about 2. As Grom had nowhere to go from the word go, the Hillmen swarmed that man in the backfield, and they got him in the back.
Yeah, offensive line, defensive line, both of them are showing up pretty good. Penetration of the Rio Linda into the backfield. About 4 guys, I would say, got into the backfield. There's no room for the runner.
Xavier Mendoza, number 68, credited with the tackle with 6:33 to go. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Rio Linda Knights at their own 48. Bonilla under center. 3 tailbacks in the backfield. They give it to Grom, who had a little resistance, and he's tackled for another loss. 3rd and long coming up as the Hillmen are stifling the run for the Rio Linda Knights.
Yeah, they've moved in under center. Bonilla's under center now, and he's heading off twice. Now, this last time, if you notice, after he handed off, he kind of came out for the naked bootleg. Obviously didn't have the ball. Not a lot of Placer guys paying attention to him, so we might see that in the near future.
Jackson Ramirez, the kicker, in on the stop there along Mendoza once again for the 2nd consecutive play for the Hillmen. Now Chris Avery, the outside linebacker, checks into the game for the Hillmen. 3rd and 11 coming up, 5:44 to play in the first quarter. Bonilla in the shotgun, 3 wide outs to the near side. He drops back, bootlegs it out to the left. Gonna throw it up, it's high, and it's almost intercepted again, just out of the reach of Prieto, who was swarming in at the Hillman 40, and that'll bring up 4th down, intended for Jackson. And Prieto did a great job covering that one.
Yeah, and again, sprinting out, as you mentioned, sprinting out to his left. That was the wide side of the field, but you sprint out to your left, and he has to stop his momentum before he can let the ball go. So it's very difficult for Bonilla to throw going that way.
So Grom in a pump formation as he is back at the Rio Linda 35. Lavelle Davis is at the Hillman 15. Clock is officially stopped at 5:32 on the incomplete pass. Here comes the punt, and it's a good one. Lavelle Davis lets it bounce to the 20. Now he picks it up at the 15, breaks one tackle. He's at the 25, coming around the corner, 25-30, 35-40. Lavelle might be going 50, 40, 35-30. Goodbye, LD. We'll see you in the end zone. Touchdown, Lasher Human. Lavelle Davis, 85 yards on the punt return. They got a flag, and we'll see what it's about.
Looks like people are coming back.
And we got a holding call as that punt by Lavelle Davis looks to be coming back. So that punt return and that call all for naught.
85 yards,
Davis,
yeah.
85 yards, and we'll just let you hear it. We'll hear what the crowd has to say about this flag here.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the holding call, but I don't know. If you're up 21-0 and you get an 85-yard run call back, I don't think you can boo the official too badly.
So, the bad news is no 85-yard punt return by Lavelle Davis. The good news, the ball is about to be marked. We'll see where they mark it, but man, what a punt return by Lavelle Davis. He took it on the one hop, came around the corner on the near side, had a couple of blocks. Shouts out to the special teams unit.
Absolutely.
And then he let the speed take off.
Yeah, and it looks like they're marking it about the. Well, it looks like, okay, so they're calling the penalty way back where he got the ball. I didn't see anybody actually blocking. He actually sidestepped him. So it's going to be down on about the 9-yard line. If you do the math, maybe at about the 24. Perhaps that's where the hold occurred.
Now that penalty will push it inside the Placer 10 with 5:13 to play. And man, what a punt return by Lavelle Davis. He just continues to marvel this year in the senior campaign, over 1,200 yards rushing. 1st and 10 from the Placer 9. Back to pass, Andy Hall's got a man downfield, the 30. That one is just simply dropped. It was intended for number 18. So an incomplete pass there for the Hillmen on 1st and 10. 2nd and 10 coming up with 5:07.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do, Keith. We've talked about it. They haven't been able to make the connections in the passing game, so you use tonight, you use it right now as an example of running those routes and let's get it going, and that's exactly what has happened, and that's what they've got to work on.
Many in the community would say the blocking has a lot to do with that. More on that in a minute. 2nd and 10 coming up. They go up the middle to Lavelle Davis again. Breaks one tackle outside the 20, and he's stifled as he runs over one man at the 24. And Lavelle Davis, if there's one thing we know for sure, is this game continues on and on. Lavelle Davis, he is showing no signs of slowing down. He's nearing a 1,500-yard campaign, and we still got at least 4 games to go.
Absolutely, and I credit the Rio Linda defender who stood in his path and was the last guy between him and 6 points and made the tackle.
1st and 10 from the Hillman 24. They're going to go up the middle to Davis. Down across 40, 45, 50, 50 to 45, 30. And he's tackled down inside the 30. And so another big run there. And that's actually going to be Luca Collins who had the carry. And the Hillmen are just gangbusters right now. You don't know where that football's going.
A nippy little double reverse that time. The handoff was made, and then the handoff to Collins coming back on the counter, and he burst out there. Nice job by the Rio Linda defender to run him down, but a good run by Luca Collins. He's got a couple of carries. He's way over 50 yards already.
Luca's run puts this one at the Rio Linda 28 with under 5 minutes to go, 4:25 to be exact. And man, what a start for the Hillmen.
Absolutely, everything they're doing is working except for the pass play that was dropped, and that's why they're going to have to keep trying that during the night. Keep trying to throw the ball to get that under control.
Got a little stoppage in the game here as the officials are got some wardrobe malfunction out there for Rio Linda.
Officials helping them with the pads. Nicely done by the
Good,
Zebra.
always good to see the officials helping, not just with the officiating, but always with everything else.
It is nice to see them helping, absolutely.
Multitasking.
Yep. That's probably the one that was the Placer alum that was blowing the whistle earlier. Probably a good guy, out there doing things.
4:07 to go in the first quarter as the Hillmen now at the Rio Linda 28 with homecoming coming up. Phantom, did you go to homecoming? When you were in high school?
It was a little bit different, in those days. But yeah, of course I went to. Everybody goes to homecoming. You get everybody together. All the old people come back and act like they were cooler than they were when they actually were in high school. But everybody goes along with it. Sure, absolutely.
Did you wear a tuxedo?
A tuxedo? Oh, you mean for the dance festivities?
Yeah.
Of course I did.
What color?
I got dressed to the nines. I think it was basic black in those days. There was only one color of tuxedo when I was that age. They didn't have. You can't. If you wore a non-black tuxedo, then you didn't belong, my friend. They didn't have that.
You weren't hip.
No. Well, no, I wasn't hip.
Ball is marked at the Rio Linda 28 with 4:07 to play in the first quarter. The Hillman up 21-0 comfortably. Andy Hall in the shotgun. Drops back to pass, has time, gonna throw it. That pass is off the hands at the 10-yard line of the intended receiver. Intended for what looks to be Luca Collins, we can't know for sure. And then it looks like it's gonna be number 11, Cole Shepard. And so Shepard could not hang on to the ball at the 10-yard line. 4 minutes to go, 2nd and 10 coming up.
And it's obvious that Joe Montoya is concerned about that passing game because he has run out a couple of different routes with a couple of different receivers to try to get Andy Hall on track.
Shotgun for Hall again on 2nd down. Lavelle Davis in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. Hall zips it on the screen play to Prieto, who's at the 25, makes one man miss. Prieto inside the 20, and he finally is wrestled down at around the 18-yard line. Tackle was made by number 9, Jackson. And so Alejandro Prieto is an interesting figure in this team. He's had some games where he caught the big bomb against Pleasant Valley. He's had some games where him and Hall just can't hook up.
Right, and that was a situation where you get a guy, an easy pass to complete. He got it to Prieto, a nice block out here. Prieto makes a nice inside move and gets a first down. 1st
and 10 from the 18. Ball is fumbled near the 19, and they finally hop back onto it. So some miscommunication there on the handoff from Lavelle Davis, courtesy of him, Andy Hall. So him and Hall usually have good chemistry, and they just couldn't get the handoff secured there.
I think he might have been a little too eager. He saw that hole opening up. He tried to grab that ball from Andy Hall, and he wasn't ready to give it to him yet. And well done as far as covering it, though.
3:15 to go. 2nd and 11 coming up from the Rio Linda 19. They go back to the play action. Hall to the corner, and it's cut in the end zone. Touchdown! Glasser Hillman! So the passing game that had been not working all game finally hits pay dirt in the end zone. And it's Kaza who snags the touchdown.
Absolutely what we've been talking about, an absolutely perfect throw by Andy Hall to a wide open receiver in the corner of the end zone. Had to get his foot down, make sure he was in there, but a beautifully run play by the Hillman.
Mikaza Sukaza in the end zone. The Placer Hillman are up 27-0 with 3:08 to go, pending the PAT. As Ramirez back to do this again. Jackson Ramirez, he's getting a leg workout tonight for sure. Snap, hold, kick, good.
Absolutely,
28-0. Jackson Ramirez, if there's one thing Jackson will not be able to say after this game is that he didn't get any reps.
No, and that's exactly what they want to get him. Obviously, they're working on the snap, they're working on the hold, they're working on the kick. Looks like it's pretty much down. It's the snap and the hold they're working on, and so far so good for the Hillman in this first quarter. We're not even 9 minutes into the game yet. It's 28-0.
28-0, York Placer Hillman. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies, 1221 Grass Valley Highway. Auburn Trophies website.
.com.
All right, thanks for refreshing my memory.
It's a tough one. You don't hear it often enough.
28-0 with 3:08 to play in the first quarter, and the Placer Hillman offense, they've ran it, they've thrown it. Either way, they've scored points doing whatever it takes.
And they've featured a lot of different players so far too, Keith.
And that's one thing that going into this last half of the season is so critical. More on that in a minute as Ramirez back to kick this one off. Running towards it. He sends it flying. As this one goes over the head of Bonilla at the Rio Linda 5. He picks it up at the Knights 2. Makes his way towards the far sideline. Breaks one tackle as he gets about 1 or 2 on that return. And Rio Linda will start this one deep in their territory near their own 8-yard line.
Another great cover, and I think that time Bonilla thought it was over his head. He was on the 5. He says, it's over my head. It's going to go into the end zone. I'll let it go. Well, it hit, and it came back to him, and so he's all of a sudden going, I better pick that thing up. It's a live ball, and gets it back to about the 8 or 9 yard line.
Chris Avery with another tackle. That's his second on the night as this ball is placed at the Rio Linda 8. Bonilla in the shotgun. 2 wideouts to the near side and 2 to the far sideline. And Grom is in the backfield, the lone tailback. Up the middle, and Grom has some breathing room as he's still going as he crosses the 10 and has finally stood up at around the Rio Linda 14.
Very impressive. He burst through the hole, but a lot of closure by the Placer defenders. Eventually, about 4 or 5 guys got together, big ground down.
So that's a gain of 5 on the run by Grom. Marshall Alcorn, number 47, with his first tackle of the game. And Perez makes a tackle as well. And Diego Perez has 3 tackles in this game so far. 2nd and 5, 2:28 to go. Bonilla with 2 tailbacks in the backfield to the left of him in the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Now going to keep it in runs. He makes his way out towards the near or the far sideline and finally wrestled down. Gets about 2, maybe 3 on that one. 3rd and short coming up.
The open side of the field for them has been to their left. They've been on the right hash mark most of the night, so they've had to go to the left. That time, Bonilla decided to go back to the right, to the short side, and about 3 Placer defenders were waiting for him.
We are finally under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter as Nick Horn gets his first tackle of the contest with 1:52 to play. 3rd and 5 coming up now from the Rio Linda 13. Shotgun for Bonilla. 1 tailback to the left of him. And Bonilla will just hand this one off to Grom, who trying to get a couple more yards. Still going. You got to love the heart by Grom.
Tough runner.
Surrounded by green jerseys. 4th down coming up as he can't get the first down conversion.
That's the definition of the gang tackle. He tried to get through there, and 3 guys had him. He kept going, and 3 more jumped on and stopped him well short of the first down to bring up 4th and 4.
Maxwell Joyner, as well as Colin Bray, get their first tackles on the night, and the Rio Linda Knights now forced to punt deep in their own territory. Lavelle darts back out to the what looks to be the Placer 45. Lavelle anxiously waiting this punt here as we're under a minute to go in the first quarter. Rio Linda getting some late subs in here on this 4th and short.
They only had 10 guys. They decided they'd go with 11.
Snap is high, and it's almost blocked. It looked like Placer might have got a hand on it. Nonetheless, this one goes to the Rio Linda 35 as that play was doomed from the start.
Yeah, very high snap, and at that time, a good job by the punter to get rid of it. Kicked it out, and Lavelle was just staying away from it, and it was down to the 35.
So Placer will start this one at the Rio Linda 35 for the first time tonight. The Hillman will start inside enemy territory on a drive with 41 seconds, and business as usual. Maybe you try something new here on this drive, Phantom.
We'll see what happens if they want to go ahead and work on the passing game more. They want to keep the ball on the ground. We'll see what happens at almost the end of the first quarter here.
Shotgun for Andy Hall. He's got Luca Collins in the backfield. He's also got Parada, who now goes out towards the line of scrimmage. Up the middle, Lavelle Davis across the 30, 25, still going 20, 15, breaks another tackle, and he's inside the 15-yard line. Lavelle Davis, it's like a Mack truck going through a brick wall. Nobody can stop Lavelle this year.
Yeah, he broke in the open right there. He had that look that we've seen so many times this year, Keith, of I'm just running free. Good job by Rio Linda to bring him down. The last 2 guys got together and did it, but another big gain for Lavelle.
So that one gets the ball down to the Rio Linda 13. It's a gain of 22 with 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Andy Hall gives it off. Lavelle Davis inside. No, it's actually going to be a keeper as Andy Hall gets across the 10-yard line. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The Placer Hillman on senior night comfortably ahead 28-0 against the Rio Linda Knights. You're listening to Placer High football on KAHI Radio. 9:50 a.m. Phantom.
104.5 FM.
Right back at you. So this drive now at the Rio Linda 9. 2nd and goal coming up. Hall in the gun. It's going to give it up off the middle, and it is Gage Parada who's into the end zone. Touchdown, Placer Hillman.
Number 6,
Gage Parada, GP, his 2nd TD of the night. And the Hillman comfortably up now, 34-0.
Yeah, 2nd guy through. The 1st guy took all the defenders, and Parada got it, and he was kind of looking around one time he'd been called or something because there was nobody around him. Skipped right into the end zone.
So now Jackson Ramirez back to kick the 5th extra PAT of the game. 11:55 to go in the second quarter, and the Hillman already up 34-0. Joyner, the snap hold. Kick is low. And it is good as it slices right through the upright. So Jackson Ramirez, 5 for 5. As the Placer Hillmen are comfortably up 35-0. Phantom, this is as good as they've looked all year.
Yeah, it's as good as they looked all year. And you have to remember, they're working on stuff, and isn't it nice when you cap off that touchdown drive with that extra point, put that cherry right on top, and you're not playing against one of the best teams you're going to play. Obviously, you've played many better teams throughout the season. You've got to keep your concentration, but we'll see how they choose to play it going forward as far as who they're going to sit and who they're going to play.
This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies, 1221 Grass Valley Highway. Phantom, what is that website?
AuburnTrophies.com, as I tell you time and time again.
Well, thank you. I love that.
I know.
A quick reminder, fans, to follow us on KAHI Radio, KAHI Radio on Twitter for all of your highlights, scores, updates, and more banter back and forth with me and the Phantom.
Or some of your touchdown calls, which are quite memorable.
Depends on how you define memorable.
Well, no, it doesn't. That's exactly what I'm telling you. I'm not going to tell you how I define it.
Well, now the social media team's getting a little more creative.
Yes, they
have
are.
More conversation between us on the Twitter.
Oh, I like that.
Ramirez sends this one away inside the 10. It's taken by Jackson, who makes a little shimmy out across the 10, and he's pushed back at the 10. Man, you got to love these Placer Hillman special team units tonight. They have been just aggressive and to the point of attack.
And you're going to see some people probably that haven't got a lot of playing time so far. They're going to come in. They got a lot of what we used to call vim and vigor in them, and they're going to be looking to hit somebody, and that's exactly what happened on that one.
Darial makes the tackle, and it was actually number 3, Murillo, who had the kick return. They're going to give him forward progress. This ball starts at the 14 of Rio Linda with 11:46 to go in the second quarter. Bonilla counting how many people they have on the field just to make sure this time. 3 wideouts. And now we're going to get another timeout here.
Timeout, Rio Linda.
Bonilla will be in the shotgun here on 1st and 10 from the Knights 14-yard line. The Hillmen playing a basic cover 2 defense here. The refs confirming the spot of the football. Now we get the whistle. Bonilla in the gun, as mentioned. Castro at tailback. And he's going to give it actually to number 10. This is Gear, as Gear turns the corner. 25-30, 35-40. Gear still going and finally shoved out of bounds near the 45 of Rio Linda on the far sideline. And a first down for Rio Linda is actually Blackman on the carry. Kaza makes the tackle, and that's the first big play the Hillmen have given up all night.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing golf and you got a bunch of bogeys, and all of a sudden you get a par, and you go, hey, wait a minute, I can play this game. They got a nice play out there that gets them invigorated for the plays to come.
Unless you have a big handicap, then you don't see par very often.
Not very often. That's what makes it great.
Ball is at the Rio Linda 40 with 11:11 to play. First down conversion on the run by Blackman. Bonilla back to throw. Still going. Pressure coming, and he's wrestled down at the Rio Linda 35. And that was a big-time sack there by the Placer defensive line.
Yeah, we talked about the offensive line, how good they've been playing, but just mention that defensive line, too, the penetration. Each and every play, Bonilla has nowhere to go if he can't find his receiver right away.
Mendoza credited with the sack on first down. Loss of 4 on the takedown. Mendoza now 3 tackles and a sack on the day. 36-yard line is where that sack takes Rio Linda on 2nd and 14 with 10:33 to play. Bonilla in the gun. Hands it off to Blackman again, who cuts back inside, out back towards the original line of scrimmage for a gain of 4. 3rd and 10 coming up. Basically
the same play they did that broke it for the big gainer by Blackman, but that time a couple of Placer defenders were there and they did not miss the tackle.
10:13 to go. They're going to give Blackman actually 5 on the carry. 10:08 to play. Ball is at the Rio Linda 41 now officially. Rio Linda obviously taking their time here as the clock continues to run. They're just trying to get some positive yardage here on 3rd down.
Yeah, a lot of confusion, a lot of conversation, I think, to get everybody set in the right place.
3rd and 9 for the Knight 41. Jet sweep up the middle as Marario can't get anything there, and 4th down coming up as he's tackled at the Rio Linda 40.
Yeah, just trying to, a little misdirection, but the jet sweep's supposed to go outside. It never got outside. It was forced back inside, whereas we said the Placer defensive line was waiting.
They're going to give Marario a gain of 1 on that 3rd down jet sweep. Mendoza with another tackle. Mendoza is everywhere tonight. 4 tackles and 1 sack now.
Yeah, Mendoza and Horn teaming up on that one and causing a 4th and 9 for the Knights.
You mess with the Mendoza, you get the horn.
You get the horn.
Lavelle Davis back to return this one at the Placer 25. The Knights have had trouble all night getting people on the field, and they finally get another person to give them the needed to run a play as Gron comes in to block. Bad snap. They finally get it away. It dribbles toward the 30. Lavelle Davis slips and falls. And the Knights will let this one just drop at the Placer 20. Lavelle went to go return that. It's a good thing he didn't. He slipped and fell at the 30.
Yeah, he was hoping that was going to get a big bounce. The kick obviously very low as the punter had to get away another bad snap. He had to get it off, and he just kicked it low, and it started rolling and rolling, but it didn't kick up. It just stayed on the ground, and Lavelle started to move to the right and just slipped. Probably good because he might have reached his hand out and tried to get the ball. Ball
is at the Placer 20. So Hall and Prieto will come in now as Andy Hall. More on him in a minute. 1st and 10 from the Placer 20 with 8:43 to play. Looks like they'll line Prieto up in the slot. Hellman line up in the shotgun. Hall takes the snap. Halfback toss to the near side. This is Lavelle Davis who crossed the 25. Still going out across the Hillman 30. Tackle near the 34. 1st down. Gain of 14 on that carry by Lavelle Davis.
And unofficially puts him over 100 yards for the game in about 16 minutes of work for Lavelle. Looks like we're having a penalty.
It's going to be a holding call. So that run by Lavelle is coming back. No doubt the way this one's going, he'll get to over 100 yards in this game as the refs now decide the holding call.
Yeah, he'll get over 100 yards if he stays in the game long enough, and he's already put in a couple of touchdowns today, or 1 touchdown today. So he had 1 call back. So he's got to that 20 touchdowns for the season, which is a tremendous mark.
So now this ball is placed at the 25. 1st and 5 coming up now for the Hillman at their own 25. Hall up the middle to Luca Collins, and it's actually going to be Lavelle Davis who gets the football as he's out across the 30. And he gets the 1st down. And what does it say, Phantom, about a tailback by Lavelle Davis? He had 1 game so far this year where he hasn't clocked over 100 yards. Every single week when they needed to count him, he's brought his A game.
Right, in that game against Lincoln, they keyed on him, obviously, but they keyed on him right after the first game of the season when he put up big numbers against Castroville, but he was still able to put up those numbers each and every week. Then he has a bad one against Lincoln, comes back last week. It was fantastic.
8:03 to go as this ball is up the middle, and it's going to be Andy Hall who keeps it himself for the 1st down, and he's finally tackled at the 48. And it looks like Luca Collins or Gage Parada had the carry.
Penalty flag came in right at the end, right as he was being tackled. Possibly a face mask or something like that. I didn't see. Maybe there was a block right at the last minute there.
And Joey Montoya is getting creative here. We'll wait to see what the flag is. And that's actually going to be a face mask on the Knights of Rio Linda. So that'll move the chains. And that'll bring it to the Rio Linda 47 on a 5-yard penalty. Tonight it just seems like the Hillmen have had more trickery and just magic as far as running the football. You don't know where it's going.
They've done I think it's their usual wing T formation or attack. It's just that they've been running it so cleanly tonight. It looks like magic, but it's actually just running it cleanly.
Play action. 1st and 10 from the Rio Linda 47. Hall zips it to the far sideline, caught the 40, 35, and a great run there as being tackled out of bounds. Looks to be Gage Parada again. So Parada's just been everywhere tonight. Or it's actually been Luca Collins, excuse me. So Collins is tackled at the Rio Linda 34. Braun makes the tackle.
It's nice to see Hall throwing the ball well, Keith, but you notice what's the difference is he has all day back there to throw. Now, if the line could give him that kind of protection all the time, has time to pick out his receivers. That's what's going on tonight.
So 1st and 10 now at the Rio Linda 34 with 7:32 to play in the first quarter, or the second quarter, excuse me. They're going to go up the middle. Lavelle Davis makes one man miss, and he's finally tackled inside the hashes at the Rio Linda 25.
25-yard line for a gain of 9 yards.
Gain of 9 on that one as Lavelle Davis is nearing over that 100-yard mark. What do you have him at?
I got him at 105 unofficially.
So
remember, he's had a couple of runs pulled back, and he's also had an 85-yard punt return that's been called back. So he's had well over 200 yards of total offense, but not all of it is counted.
Ball now at the Rio Linda 25. First down. Hall back to pass. Zips it at the 20. And catching this one. Still going inside the 10-yard line. Great job there as Arthur Kerners, the junior, makes the completion.
Pass caught by Karnax.
As Kernax gets the pass, and it's a great job there by Kernax to stay in bounds. And we talk about these juniors. Kernax, one of them, has got to watch out for next year.
Absolutely, and also that's the kind of pass you want Andy Hall to work on, throwing that out. It was a beautifully thrown ball.
Hall in the gun up the middle. And getting that one is going to be Luca Collins, who stopped at the 10, so no gain there by Luca Collins.
Yeah, that previous play, Keith, was a down-and-out, quick throw by Andy Hall, and it was a timing throw, and he put it right on the money. Good job by the receiver to get down the sidelines, but that's what you want to see, him throwing the passes he's going to be throwing in the next couple of games.
So this ball is marked at the Placer 10, or at the Rio Linda 10, no gain. Now they're going to give it up again, and having that one is Lavelle Davis, who's in the end zone, makes one man run right over him. Touchdown, Placer Hillman.
Senior night, and the senior of Placer is doing it again. His second touchdown on the ground, his 21st touchdown of the year, and he just ran into a couple of defenders and said, "You're not bringing me down," and he found himself in the end zone.
So Lavelle Davis from 10 yards out, and the Hillmen are officially up now 41-0 with 6:18 to go in the second quarter.
And more practice on the PAT.
As Ramirez lines up for his 6th PAT of the night so far. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. You got to give Gavin credit where credit's due. He's 6 for 6.
Yeah, give him credit, give the snapper credit, and give the holder credit, because the holder's done a good job of getting it down just in time, and the kick has gone through. And wouldn't that have been nice to see all season long, kicks going through like that? But it's nice that they're able to get it going tonight. And as we talked about in the pregame, Keith, this is a game that you practice your execution, and basically that's what they're doing right now.
6:18 to go in the first half. Your Hillman up 42-0 comfortably. This kickoff brought to you by Auburn Trophies, 1221 Grass Valley Highway. Phantom, what is that website?
AuburnTrophies.com.
You must have that just remembered on a piece of paper.
Almost. I got it written down. Yeah, I don't remember. It's a lot of words. But, I just want to say that whoever the salesman that negotiated that for Auburn Trophies, that guy deserves a raise.
Give him a raise.
Early in the season, this guy's doing a great job.
6 figures.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll take the bill at the Mills Diner next time we go.
Well, as I say, I have my name on the table. I usually don't get a bill. I tip handsomely, of course, but I don't get a bill. I mean, that would be kind of gauche in a way. I mean, it's my table, right?
To the victor goes the spoils.
That's what they say.
Ramirez boots this one near the 10, as this one will go over the head
again
of number 10, Beer. Still going now. And finally tackled near the Rio Linda 5. Reverse course there. And then Blackman picked it up.
Once again, the ball over the head of the last defender on the 5 and then died there and had to be picked up and returned. Only got about 3 yards.
And now Blackman is on the ground hurt. So 6:10 to play in the first half as Placer trying to defend the rock again. Maybe get another turnover. Who knows? Bonilla in the shotgun. Low snap, just gives it up the middle as he tossed it forward to Gron, who gets back to the line of scrimmage barely by the looks of it. He might have lost one. And he gets one on the carry. 2nd and 9 coming up with 5:55 to play in the first half.
Very creative back there. It sometimes seems that Bonilla's kind of making things up as he goes along and trying to adjust as to what the Placer defense is doing and to how good the snap is. It hasn't always been good for him.
Nick Horn gets his second tackle of the night on that one, as Cole Upton gets his first as well. 5:35 to go, 2nd and 9 now from the Rio Linda 6. Bonilla in the gun, fakes the handoff, will keep it himself. Bowls his way over for a gain of 1. Now Bonilla on the ground.
Just nowhere to go for Bonilla. The defensive line is holding their positions and the defensive backs are staying close up to the receiver. I don't even know if Bonilla really looked up that time. That might have been a design run, but he just had nowhere to go, as he's had nowhere to go most of the night.
It was the tight end, Jaden Cox, who got up. Kaza makes a tackle on that last play. 3rd and 9 coming up with 4:54 to play. Placer up 42-0, unofficially under 5 minutes in the second quarter.
Unofficially, yeah.
Bonilla, low snap, now bootlegs it out, still in the end zone, throws it up. That pass is caught at the 20 by number 15. That's Martin.
And you see that time, Keith, Bonilla was able to roll out to his right, to his strong side. He found Martin open on a little button hook right about the 20-yard line and put a nice little pass right in the breadbasket there.
Pass from Bonilla to Martin is good for a first down, as the ball is now advanced toward the Rio Linda 20. Bonilla in the gun again. 1st and 10 from the Rio Linda 20. Low snap, gives it up the middle. Braun bounces it out to the outside, and he's met by a bunch of green jerseys near the 20-yard line of the Knights. 2nd down coming up.
Gronin's run the ball pretty well, but I think he deserves better. He hits the hole, it's not there, he bounces it out, and it seems like all of a sudden 3 Placer defenders just show up right when he bounces it outside. He's making good moves on his runs, he's just not getting anything for him.
And they're going to give Gron what looks to be a loss of 1 on that one. 3:49 to go, 2nd and long coming up. 2 tailbacks in the backfield. Bonilla in the gun. Low snap, drops back, quick drop, and that one hits the turf before it can ever get to number 3, Marario. And 3rd and long coming up now.
Millario, yeah, he was open on the quick hitter, but Bonilla trying to get it out in his haste, didn't get the full arm behind it, and bounced it to him.
Rio Linda going through some growing pains here, trying to develop this program, obviously.
Right.
But these are the games you have to have if you're going to, get better.
It's a tough league to play in when you're trying to find yourself.
Bonilla bootleg to the left, throws it toward the far sideline, and it's incomplete, intended for gear number 10. 4th down coming up.
And we have seen a marked difference between the times when he is able to go to his right and he's had to go to his left. But as we say, most of the time the field is off to his left, and that's where he's got to try to work it, but that one overthrown.
4th down now. The Hillmen, by the looks of it, aren't going to send anybody back to return the punt. If there is going to be a punt, we'll wait and see.
Gron in punt formation.
So now Gron's going to punt it. Joey Montoya has instructed the Hillmen to not go back deep and return it. 3:30 to go. Low snap. Gets behind Gron at the 5, and he just finally kicks it into the stands. And the ball lands at the Rio Linda 25. That's where the Hillmen will start.
He just had to try to run for his life after another bad snap. Got it away. Got a couple of yards, I guess, on the punt, but just did the best he could in the situation.
So the Hillmen with great field position to start this drive with 3:21 to go. They'll mark this back officially at the Rio Linda 26. That's where officially they'll spot the ball.
All right, I have to feel like maybe this is the last series of the game for the Placer first unit as far as offense is concerned. It's tough to say on senior night because you want to let your seniors get a chance to shine on their night, but at 42-0 with 3 left in the second quarter, maybe this is it.
I agree. Hall back to pass, has time, throws it towards the end zone. That one is caught in the corner for the touchdown. Placer Hillmen.
Beautifully thrown ball by Andy Hall. That was just sent out one receiver on that play. That was the only option, and he made a beautiful pass.
As Alejandro Prieto snags that one from 26 plus yards out for the TD. And if that's the play where Andy Hall signs off on this game, there might not be a better play to do it.
No, absolutely. He's had enough work, I think, in the first half. He's had a clean pocket, which is the key, but that was a nice throw.
Low snap, Ramirez stutters, now kicks it away. Doesn't matter, he's still perfect. 7 for 7 is Ramirez on PATs, and the Hillmen lead perfectly, 49-0.
Yeah, again, Andy Hall got the clean pocket, had one receiver, made a beautiful throw out there to the corner of the end zone, and grabbed it. And yeah, you got the 7th PAT. That time the snap wasn't as good. Ramirez kind of, as you said, stutter step, still knocked it through.
Ramirez sends this one flying. This one taken at the 15 by Jackson. And he's tackled at the Rio Linda 20. It's actually been number 3, Marario, who takes the kickoff.
A couple of early scores I got here, Keith. Now I just lost them, but Ponderosa leading Lincoln 8-7, and Nevada Union trailing Oakmont 14-0.
And that's big, because if Ponderosa can beat Lincoln, that opens the floodgates for a whole lot of scenarios for the Hillmen.
Right, but also the two teams that Placer still has to play, Oakmont and Ponderosa, showing out very nice tonight. Oakmont with that early lead, and Ponderosa doing the same.
I'd have to agree. So the FVL is getting pretty interesting.
Absolutely interesting, like you say. It also, the way you look at it, it opens the door for Placer to run the table and grab a league title.
2:42 to play. They're officially making it a running clock now. 1st and 10. Bonilla up the middle, keeps it himself. Gets a couple there. 2nd down coming up.
Bonilla keeps it.
Gets about maybe 1.
So, yes, I think we've probably seen the last of that first unit offensively. I don't know as far as how many players that Placer has that they can afford to rest the defense and the offense, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of the second team guys coming in and getting some really good reps in this game.
2:03 to play. 2nd and 9 now. Ball is placed at the Rio Linda 19. Bonilla fires it in the flat. Pass is caught at the 14. A huge loss in the backfield. Gron got nowhere going there. He tried to make a man miss, but he was just swallowed up in the backfield.
Very impressed by the tenacity of the Placer defenders as far as they're going all out for the tackles tonight. Don't know if it's the opposition or whether that's just the way they've just turned the corner on the thing, but they are really coming out and really flying to the ball.
So officially 1:30 to play now as this ball is marked at the Rio Linda 14. It's a loss of 5 on that swing route in the backfield. 1:15 to go, running clock now as Rio Linda down 49-0. Bonilla steps up with the gun, has some room, takes off and runs, and slides at the Knights 20. Gets about 1 there. Well, actually gets about 6. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Under a minute to play now as it's officially 4th down for the Rio Linda Knights.
Yeah, they had the wide side of the field to his right, and he had 3 wide receivers out this way. I thought he might roll to the right and try to pick one of them up, but he was not able to do so.
Under a minute to go in the first half, officially a running clock. The Hillmen will not send anybody back to return this punt. Clock continues to tick here as Rio Linda just trying to melt the clock as much as possible. Snap is low. It's a high punt. Doesn't really go anywhere as this one rolls across the 50 to the Placer 46 is where it's down.
A good snap that time. Finally, the punter got a good snap, and he came up with a pretty good kick for Rio Linda with the clock running down, and that will be the end probably of the first half.
And that it will. The Placer Hillmen on senior night lead comfortably against the Rio Linda Knights, 49-0. We'll go to break. Second half coming up. We'll finish this one halftime officially here on KAHI Radio. The final, the
halftime score.
Full halftime score, 49-0 Placer here on KAHI Radio, 950 AM, Phantom.
104.5 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Hilltop
The Hillman will kick this football off to start the second half as Ramirez slams this one inside the 15. Ball is taken by Grant at the 10, makes a move, cuts it out to the near sideline, stiff arms one across the 20, and he's tackled and pushed out at around the 22-yard line.
Another good job of covering the kick. Grant had it ball about, like you said, on the 10. Still got there, so he was only able to bring it back just over the 20-yard line.
So this ball now starts officially. I think they're not going to give him a little bit of the forward progress. Going to see where they mark this ball now. And I think we got like a flag on the kickoff. So we're going to mark this back to be holding on the Knights of Rio Linda to start the second half with 11:45 to go.
A little half the distance to the goal there for put it down at about the 13 and a half yard line.
And right you are. This one's placed at the 13-yard line.
13-yard line.
See if Rio Linda comes out and tries to air it out right away, or if they stay on the ground. I think to give Bonilla a chance to throw a couple here.
More on that in a minute as the drive starts at the Rio Linda 13. First and 10, 11:15 to go. We're going to have a running clock the rest of the way with the score and the deficit being so large. Bonilla in the shotgun. Hands it off, and Ron had nowhere to go there as the Hillmen were all over him. Loss of a couple.
I don't know if that was the second string defensive line in there, but they did the same thing the first string did in the first half, which is penetration. Get to the ball right before the running back could get any daylight.
So this ball is now marked the 10. It's a loss of 3 on the run. Second and 13 coming up with 10:42 to play in the third quarter.
Rio Linda takes a lot of time to get set up.
Bonilla under center. Gives it up the middle. And getting to the 15 is going to be Grant. Gets 5 on that one. Third down coming up now for the Rio Linda Knights.
Grant, a hard runner. I'd like to see what he could do with a little bit of daylight there as far as the line is overwhelmed by Placer tonight. But Grant is getting, you can see how he averages about 4.5 yards a carry on the season.
This is true.
Third down and 8.
Third down and 8 officially. Ball marked the Rio Linda Knight 15. We're under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. You have to love the aggressiveness from this defense for Placer tonight, fam.
Absolutely.
Bonilla just going to hand it off to Grant, who gets wrestled down the backfield for a loss of a couple as the Hillmen were not fooled there on the handoff.
Just like you said, you have to love the aggressiveness, and then knifed right through the line there and dropped him in the backfield.
So now fourth down coming up. It'll be Ramirez who's credited with the tackle. So Jackson Ramirez, who is now 7 for 7 on PATs tonight.
He's putting in a lot of good work tonight.
But yeah, his leg must be tired.
Yeah, and nothing like getting, you kick 7 extra points, nothing like getting the chance of getting the tackle.
Both sides.
Both sides.
So now this will be 4th and 10 coming up for the Rio Linda Knights with 9:13 to go.
Still nobody back for Placer to receive the punt, as you mentioned earlier.
And I don't think that's a mistake. I think that's on purpose. Obviously, Joey Montoya with the sportsmanship, class all the way.
Not going to go for the return,
No.
yeah. And let's see, tried to get Rio Linda to get the snap back to this punter. He done a good job of kicking it when he's had time, but he's been chasing the ball for the most of the night.
Jackson had to run off the field. Now we got a flag. So now this ball is officially marked at the 8-yard line. Had an illegal substitution against Rio Linda.
They've been taking their time getting their players in most of the evening, so I'm not surprised that happened at least once.
Grant on the punt, snaps high in the end zone. He finally fires it off as this one will hit at about the Rio Linda 28 and will stand pat and rolls back a little bit to the Rio Linda 29.
Yeah, still a high snap, had to get it away. Not a lot of rush by the Placer Hillman defensive line, so he's able to get the kick away. Did a fine job, got it out to the 30-yard line.
Andy Hall now will take snaps for the Hillman at the Rio Linda 29, and actually not Andy Hall, so Chris Avery coming out. We'll see who comes in at quarterback here for the Hillman. Under center, it's going to be Joyner, number 9, and so Andy Hall looks to be done for the day as Carson Yunk, the junior, gets the carry on that one.
Not surprised that Andy Hall is done, as we mentioned, and nice to see somebody else back there. Get a couple of guys some rushes. Looks like we might have a penalty on that play.
We do. And so now this ball will go to the 34-yard line. Loss of 5 on that one, on the penalty. Joyner hands it off again, and going up the middle and getting the carry for a gain of about 1 is Yunk again. 7:14 to play here in the third quarter.
Excellent play by the Rio Linda defensive lineman there. Carson Young looked like a little bit of daylight there, and he pulled him down one-on-one.
So now this ball is at the 34 as Placer. Obviously taking their time. They don't want to run any more plays if they have to.
And they've got guys who aren't used to running the offense too, so they're going to make sure they're on the same page and they know exactly what they're doing.
Joyner under center, gives it up the middle, and getting that one for a couple down to the 25 is the ball carrier. And it looks like Jaden Suggs got that carry. So Jaden Suggs, who's been banged up for a good couple of games. It's good to see him back in the game.
Yeah, we saw him a little bit at the end of the last game. It is good to see him in there and go ahead and straight ahead run, and he got a nice yardage.
Some misdirection as Placer hands it off again. They'll get lost in the backfield for a loss of 1. Young gets another one. So this is a good, teaser to see Carson Young going forward. The junior running back will be a senior next year.
Suggs the same way, yeah.
4th down and 7.
So now you got 4th down and 7 coming up now from the Rio Linda 26. What do you have on your phone? You showed me the other day on your app.
Oh, no, I don't have it anymore.
You don't have it anymore?
I have pictures. I keep thinking, I'm trying to, I saw a picture of you and I'm trying to see what, a similar picture of two gentlemen, and all I could think of was the old guy and the young guy in the Squid Game.
You've watched Squid Game?
Of course I have. 4th
and 7. This carry goes nowhere. So, what did you think?
Oh, I thought it was excellent, of course. A little bit, they're a little bit, I don't want to spoiler alert or anything like that, a little bit violent at some times.
Do you think it ended the way, tough? Do you think it ended the way you thought it was going to end?
Basically, there was a couple of different endings piled on top of each other, but basically, I thought there would be a little bit more a closure to it. There's, a little bit.
Well, there was closure.
There's closure, but there's a door open, and they could do, you can kind of, infer what you think is going to happen next. Is all I'm saying.
To your own interpretation.
That's what I like to say. Yeah.
Your rating, you give it a 10 out of 10?
No, I won't give it 10 out of 10.
You like a 9?
No, because I've seen a lot of shows in my life, so I'm going to give it I'll give it an 8, 8.2.
It's not Who Shot JR, right?
No, it's, oh man, can you believe that? I never thought it was going to be her.
Rio Linda takes over now at their own 25 after Placer can't get the 4th down run for a 1st down, and Bonilla just runs back to the line of scrimmage. So the Placer-Hillman, barring anything crazy, will come away with a victory tonight. Go to 2-5 on the year. And this was needed. Now you've got the first 2 done.
Yeah, absolutely needed. And as we talked about, it was needed to do some things that we saw some well-thrown balls out there, some passing. The passing game with Andy Hall was better than it has been in a while, so it was nice to see that. And again, you mentioned it. We talked about it a bunch of times. Guys just flying to the ball defensively.
Bonilla in the shotgun with 4:07 to play in the third quarter. Drops back to pass, zips it over the middle. That one is almost intercepted. It was off the fingertips of Horn, number 8.
It's like he was throwing to a spot. The receiver hadn't gotten to the spot yet, but Horn was standing in the spot and almost had himself an INT right there.
So Placer's already intercepted 1 pass tonight. Well, that's the second one they almost had their fingertips on for an INT. 3rd and 11 coming up now from the Rio Linda 24.
Grabbed that big interception back for the second touchdown way back in the first quarter. Remember all the way back in the first quarter?
Yeah.
Shepard running that one back for a touchdown. Incredible.
So now 3rd and 11, 3:22 to play. Bonilla in the gun, drops back, has time, pump fakes. Now going to take off and run as he scrambles toward the near sideline as Bonilla still going. Finally shoved out of bounds near the 33. Close to a 1st down, but he won't get it. 4th down coming up.
I think Coach Montoya has to be happy. I know we have a couple of the second teamers in there on defense, but that pursuit, that flying to the ball is just the same as it's been when the first teamers were in.
4th and 2 coming up, under 3 minutes in the third. Rio Linda going to go for it. Bunch formation. As Bonilla tries to get the quarterback sneak for a 1st down. Doesn't look like he got it.
It's going to be close.
Or he actually might have.
They're going to give it to him.
They will give Bonilla the 1st down. So Bonilla gets the 2 yards that Rio Linda needs for the 4th down conversion. Ball is now marked at the 37.
Bonilla finally getting on the previous play, trying getting some of that space that we talked about when he wanted to scramble and got himself a nice gainer.
The ref now instructing Placer to move back on the sideline. Got too many guys bunched up near that white line.
The first teamers are excited to see the second teamers get that action out there, and they're trying to cheer them on.
1st and 10 now from the Rio Linda 37. The Knights just looking to put some points on the board. Get some confidence on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, get some positive plays, exactly.
Bonilla in the gun sends Malario in motion, drops back to pass, dumps it off the near side for Gran, who has at the 45-50, still going, breaks another tackle, and he's inside the Placer 40 for a first down as Gran gets a big play on there in the passing game.
Nice misdirection. As you mentioned, they sent a guy in motion to the left, looked over to him, and then came back to Gran on the right side, who was all by himself. Had a little trouble catching the ball, but when he got it, he tucked it away. A real nice gain for the Knights.
Okay, so now Placer has their backs somewhat against the wall here. As the ball's in their own 38-yard line, the Rio Linda Knights are moving here with under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it might be their deepest penetration of the night.
Bonilla in the shotgun. Hands it up the middle, and there was nowhere to go there as the Hillman defensive line held the fort down.
The names may change, but what they're doing is the same, Keith, and that's just staying tied in the box there and waiting for the runner to come up there, and he doesn't have any room to go.
So Gran gets one on first down with the carry. 2nd and 9 coming up, 1:14 to go in the third. Rio Linda taking their time here, just want to get the ball either in the end zone or just put some points on the board, any which way possible.
Get some positive plays, like we said, yeah.
1 minute to go. Bonilla in the gun, drops back, now going to throw it. Incomplete as it hits the dirt outside the hashes of the far sideline.
Rio Linda with 2 games to go. They have Lincoln next week, and then they take on Oakmont in the season finale. So they're just trying to build a culture. They're just trying to build some positive plays out here. They get a nice screen pass to Gran. That's a nice play, a nice scramble. That's just what they're trying to do.
And so we just got some scores over the intercom. So as of right now, Phantom, Ponderosa leads Lincoln. That score is 15 to Lincoln 7.
I'm going to check that out right now. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. 20 seconds to go here. 3rd and 9, and that's big news for Placer, who's already lost to Lincoln, but if Lincoln were to lose to Ponderosa, that changes a lot of things going forward.
It changes the FVL, as a matter of fact, it does.
Bonilla's pass incomplete. 4th down, coming up with 2 seconds remaining in the third, and that'll do the end of the third quarter. We will go to break. When we come back, we'll give you some scores and some outlook on the FVL going forward. Your Hillman leading up 49-0 against the Rio Linda Knights on KAHI Radio, 950 AM, Phantom.
104.5 FM.
Booyah. Welcome back, 49-0 as the Placer Hillman have Rio Linda looking at a 4th and 9 from the Hillman 37, but the outcome is more than likely already in the bag. Your Hillman lead 49-0. Keith Joganas, the Phantom. And so some breaking news. It was 15-7 Ponderosa against Lincoln, but Lincoln has tied that now with a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, by your guy Gabe Burns. Gabe Burns came in with the 2-point conversion. 15-15 in the third quarter. They're up in Ponderosa.
Bootleg. Downfield. Pass is intercepted near the 24 by the Hillman. Kernax snagged it out of the sky, and he returns it to the 31.
Good job just sagging back into the area, waiting for Bonilla to make his throw, and just waiting there, cutting right in front of the receiver and making a nice interception. Good game. He has had a reception and now an interception.
So Kernax, the junior, like you mentioned, Phantom, he had the reception. Now he has the interception with 11:32 to play in the fourth.
Yeah, man, good job again by the Placer defense. Doesn't matter who they're putting out there, they're doing the same thing.
We will keep you up to date as far as scores throughout the FVL as Suggs gets the carry, bounces it out, and he's tackled out of bounds near the Placer sideline at the 40 of the Hillman.
Good to see Jaden back there and running. He looks like he's still trying to get his feet underneath him. Remember when he was playing early in the season, he really looked strong running up the middle. He's still trying to get that, it looks like, a little bit, but great to see him back in there.
Suggs gets 6 on the first down carry. It's 2nd and 4 now from the Hillman 39. 10:50 to go in the fourth. Joyner back to Suggs. gets some blockers, breaks a tackle across the 50, and he's finally tackled at the Rio Linda 46.
That's the Suggs we've come to know and love. And, it seems counterintuitive as far as the sportsmanship kind of thing, but if Joyner is the backup quarterback, you think you may want to see him throw a pass or two just in case something happens to Andy Hall in the final 2 games and you might need him to come in and do something. So maybe they'll go ahead and let him do that. Right now, seem content to let Suggs run the ball up the middle.
Joyner under center. Going to keep it himself, still going, and he's finally wrestled back at the Rio Linda 49. And an even crazier score than that Ponderosa-Lincoln affair. Rockland now leads Folsom 24-7.
24-7 is what we heard, yeah.
Folsom, after last week's loss against De La Salle, one of the most anticipated matchup in high school football in all of Northern California.
Absolutely, and both teams without their starting quarterback, and Rockland has seemed to bounce back a little bit better.
9:44 to play. They go up the middle to Suggs again, who breaks some tackles, breaks another, and he's finally back across the Rio Linda 45.
Just feeling himself. You can tell he's just kind of getting his feet underneath him.
And the thing about Jaden Suggs is that, he is a dominant runner. I mean, Lavelle Davis is dominant, but
yes.
Jaden, he adds that element of power and just sheer brute force.
Yeah, he's a real tall guy. Looks like about 6'2", 6'3" out there. He runs straight up, and he's still just trying to get it, like I say, get going. But yeah, he represents, as we've seen earlier in the season, a lot of power and very tough to bring down.
3rd and 9 now as they get up the middle of Suggs again, and Suggs is close to a first down as he's out across the 40 of Rio Linda. But still, it'll be 4th and short coming up.
4th and short coming up, and I'm assuming they're going to go ahead and run the ball again. But like I say, I would like to be curious as far as whether a Joyner can put the ball up in the air and see what we'd have if he needed to come in. Remember, early in the season against Pleasant Valley, Andy Hall was knocked around for a little bit, and they were warming up a quarterback on the sidelines. Andy came back in, but in that scenario, you need to have somebody who's taken a couple of snaps and thrown the ball.
This ball is marked at the Rio Linda 41. The Hillman would have 5 yards to go to convert the 4th down. Chris Avery, the running back, comes in, number 17. Joyner still under center. Suggs in the backfield. And they're going to run it out across the 35 is Avery, who's still going as he gets the first down. So Chris Avery, the senior who plays running back and outside linebacker, takes the toss and gets it for a gain of more for a first down. About 8 or 9 on that one.
Looked like he might have got himself horse collared too, but there was no call made, so I guess that it was not a horse collar, but it is a first down, and Placer continues to take the time off the clock and then, grind up some yardage, get some guys on the line, a couple of reps as well as the running back, Suggs and Avery.
This ball is now marked at the Rio Linda 33. They go up the middle of Suggs again, makes one man miss, breaks a tackle inside the 25, and he's knocked down at the 21.
That's what we saw from Suggs early in the year, Keith, is going ahead and 4 guys hit him before they finally brought him down, and that's the kind of run he was doing earlier.
And this ball is spotted at the 21-yard line. Hillman get the first down, the run by Suggs. So Jaden Suggs, like we mentioned, he's banged up. It's finally good to see him back in the rotation somewhat.
Absolutely, and he's getting some good blocking up front as there are holes for him to run through.
Joyner under center, back to Suggs, across the 20, and across the 15 as he's broken down to the 14 for a gain about 7.
Looks like it's just going to be a Suggs and Avery drive, and the Placer line chewing up the Rio Linda defensive line as they've done all night long, and got a big Coach Joey Montoya feel real good about the way his team is playing.
6:47 to play in regulation. Placer comfortably out to a 49-0 lead. 2nd and 3 coming up now from the Rio Linda 15. They give it up the middle again. Avery with the rock as he gets inside the 10.
Similar looking runner when he gets the ball to Suggs. Both of them kind of run straight up. Suggs a little more power than Avery, a little more speed, but another good hold by the offensive line.
1st and goal now from the Rio Linda 7 with 6:18 to go. Placer trying to kill as much clock as possible.
And give guys a chance to get some reps in there.
Definitely. Suggs the lone tailback. 1st and goal. They go up the middle to Suggs, and Suggs is into the end zone. Touchdown! Placer Hillman.
Good job. Good job by Suggs. Good job by offensive line.
As Jaden Suggs gets in, great blocking, and Placer's put 55 on the board, pending the PAT.
Do you think he can do it again? 7 for 7. Do you think it could go 8 for 8?
So here we go. It's crunch time.
This is real crunch time.
Ramirez, a perfect 7 for 7 on PATs. Will he get number 8? The tension here at Lefevre is so thick you can cut it with a knife.
A lot of pressure on the snapper, a lot of pressure on the holder.
Ramirez lines up. He's been perfect all night. 5:27 to play. Will the Ocho for Ocho be intact? Here we go. Snap, hold, good. Kick is up. It is good! Yes! 8 for 8, Ramirez. Jackson Ramirez. 8 for 8 tonight on PATs. You love it.
Yeah, I do love it. If you had told me there was going to be 8 PAT tries tonight by the Hillman, I don't know that I would have said there was going to be 8 successful PAT tries, so that just goes to show me.
He has to be closing in on a record for PATs tonight.
That's an excellent point.
We need somebody from the stat market to look that up.
Yes, let's go. Let's call down to our people. You know KAHI has people. Call back to have Chris on there.
Have our people call their people.
Have exactly.
All right.
And they call the stat people.
Also in the third quarter, Lincoln 15, Pondo 15.
We're still deadlocked
Also in the third quarter, Folsom 7.
for Ponderosa and Lincoln, 15 all. That game might still be going on well after we get off the air, for sure.
So with the running clock, yeah, we'll be done in 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
So Ramirez back to kick this one off. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies, 1221 Grass Valley Highway. Auburn Trophies, what is that, Phantom?
.com.
Thank you, sir.
It's on the internet.
You got to give Jackson and the special teams, in all seriousness, their due.
Absolutely.
Because it has been a little shaky the last couple weeks, and they got it together this week. They've been perfect.
Yeah, special teams, the PATs, and the kickoffs as well. They've held them, I think, inside the 25 every time and kicked the ball deep.
Under 4 minutes to go as this kickoff is brought out the 10-yard line. And wrestled down at around the 22-yard line is Rio Linda. 3:44 to play in regulation. So Placer will win this game. That is for certain.
Yes, that is for certain.
So you've taken care of half the business. Now you got 2 games remaining. You have to win both of those.
Right, and as we've talked about, Oakmont was ahead of Nevada Union in the second half of that game, and Ponderosa even with Lincoln in that game. So both those games are going to be tough. You've got Oakmont here next week, and then you've got to go on the road to Ponderosa in the last week of the season.
And you don't know what's going to happen because Nevada Union might, or not Nevada Union, excuse me, but Lincoln might lose tonight.
They might.
And that might give you, so like you mentioned, a chance at an FBL championship.
Right, but it also shows you that you're going to have a tough time when you go to Pondo and take on the Bruins.
This is true. 3 minutes to play officially. This drive starts at the Rio Linda 23. And they've had trouble subbing guys in and out all night.
Yeah, they got the 10. It's just that 11th guy sometimes that's a problem.
There's always that one guy, right?
Yeah, it's that one guy, exactly.
2:48 to play. And Rio Linda now just looking to milk the clock and get out of here. They go up the middle. Gain of a couple on that one. Second down coming up. Zacharias with the carry up the middle, who bounced it out to the outside.
Not a lot of solo tackles for the Hillman tonight. A lot of gang tackling, a lot of 2 and 3 and 4 guys, and that's good to see from the sidelines.
So Zachario, his run gets this ball to about the 23-yard line. Back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Knights. Officially under 2 minutes to play in this one. All Hillman, 56-0. They go back to the run, and they get stuffed in the backfield for about a loss of 3 on that one. Zachario, his run goes nowhere, and that makes this 3rd and long.
A lot of guys going to feel very good after this one. Everybody playing very well, and also some of the guys who don't get to play as much coming up big. A lot of guys making plays that we haven't said their name very much this season.
This is true. 3rd and long coming up. 1:34 to play. Rio Linda just trying to buy time now as Blackman goes out wide towards the near sideline. Just trying to melt as much clock as possible, Phantom.
Trying to get people in the right places.
Bonilla keeps it himself, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Officially 1 minute to play in this one, so the Placer Hillman, a season where they started out number 11 in the SAC B polls, lost 5 straight, have bounced back tremendously now to win 2 in a row, and this is a team they have bent, but they have not been broken.
Yeah, and if I know anything about Joey Montoya, in about a minute and 45 seconds, he's going to be looking at Oakmont Vikings, and he's going to put all his energy toward them, and he's going to have his team thinking about them before tonight is over.
You don't think Coach will take about 20 minutes to process this and then go see Oakmont? No?
I think he's going to be very pleased with what his team has done. It's exactly what they needed to do. We're assuming they're all coming out healthy, and they got a lot of good reps, but then he's going to turn his attention to the next game.
This punt is a good one by Rio Linda. It bounces at the Hillman 45 and skedaddles towards inside the Hillman 20.
Excellent punt.
And that will be the last play of the game. That'll do it. Your Placer Hillman have come back. They've won 2 in a row. The momentum is with them, and the community is right back with them as well, as the Hillmen win 56-0 on senior night against the Rio Linda Knights. And partner, what else is there left to say? Well,
I didn't know if you were telling me or asking me, or we talked about it at the beginning. We talked about what they needed to do. Come out healthy, get some execution, work on things that they hadn't been good on. Obviously, PATs is one thing we mentioned. They go 8 for 8 tonight. They get great defense, flying to the ball all night long from whoever they put out on the field. So I think they established that. Andy Hall got a couple of good throws under his belt. He threw the ball very well tonight to receivers that were open behind the line that kept the pocket clean. Hopefully that can keep going next week, but he also got himself a little confidence. So I think every box was checked for Placer tonight. They got this one. They got the one they had to get last week. They got the one they should get tonight, and now they move on to the next 2.
So that'll do it. The final score, your Hillman 56, the Rio Linda Knights 0. We will go to a quick commercial break. Post-game recap coming up after this here on KAHI Radio, 950 a.m.
104.5 FM.
You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI.
Welcome back. The final score here from the Lefevre Stadium. Your Placer Hillman 56 and the Rio Linda Knights nothing here on senior night, as the student section, the gold mine, locking it arm in arm, listening to the fight song, the players fired up, everyone good to go here as the Placer Hillman have won officially 2 in a row. It's their first winning streak of the season. Keith Joganatis and the Phantom. Phantom, we talked about it. You need 4 wins to get into the playoffs. The Hillmen so far have 2. Now comes the tough part. You got to get the next 2.
Now comes the tough part. You did the part you had to do. Now's the part you need to do. The next 2 and they're going to be a lot tougher. Oakmont and Ponderosa both involved in big games tonight. Oakmont and Nevada Union, Ponderosa and Lincoln. We'll find out what those are at the end of the evening. But as you mentioned, if Ponderosa can beat Lincoln, that throws the whole league up for grabs. And Placer now at 2-1 is just as good a position as anybody else to grab that league. But more importantly, I think you focus yourself on playoffs. If the league comes, the league comes. But you got to go ahead. And as I said, Joey Montoya is getting his guys back to the locker room after they talked to their parents on homecoming, and he goes, okay, let's prepare for Oakmont.
So Ponderosa and Lincoln, as it stands right now, currently are deadlocked at 15 apiece. That game likely is in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Sure. We won't know the outcome until we get off the air, but we don't want to be biased, but, we might be rooting for Ponderosa a little bit. You never know.
I think the way that Placer goes about it, after the start that they had and after the Lincoln game, you just take care of your own business. You don't worry about what anybody else does, because true. If you win all 4 of your games, you're going to go to the playoffs, and that's what the goal is.
What does it say, Phantom, about the team? Final question. What does it say about this team? They lost 5 in a row. They've come back now to win 2 in a row. Right now, momentum's in their favor, and they're starting to build that confidence that they had at the beginning of the year. Things are starting to change.
Yeah, what's impressive, obviously, winning a game last week you had to win, but coming out tonight in a game that you obviously should win, you were supposed to win, but still executing. And Andy Hall threw 3 touchdown passes tonight. That's a big deal. Lavelle scored 2 more touchdowns. Parada came back and scored a couple of touchdowns. Got some contributions from guys that we haven't talked about for a while. And defensively, everybody was all over the field. So you got everything you wanted out of the game tonight. So you can go ahead and put that aside. You got what you wanted to do. There was no letdown. There was a actually maybe a kind of an uptick in energy and everything. And now you go on to Oakmont next week and then Ponderosa.
And that will do it. The Placer Hillmen on senior night have put this win to the side. It's win number 2. They go to 2-5 on the year. The Rio Linda Knights will go to 1-7. Next week, our Hillmen back in action right here at home in Lefevre, like you mentioned, against Oakmont. They got to win next week to keep the playoff hopes alive, but they got the win number 2 they needed tonight, and that's all that matters. Once again, the final score here, 56-0. The Placer Hillmen, your Placer Hillmen, over the Rio Linda Knights. For my partners of Phantom, this is Keith Joganata signing off. Our excellent producer, Chris Quant, back in the studio at KAHI Radio. Once again, signing off, reminding everybody, in good times and in bad times, it's always a great time to be a Hillman. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening to tonight's Placer Hillman High School football game right here on KAHI. Tonight's game was brought to you by Depot Bay Coffee Roasters, Keith Thomas, State Farm Insurance, by Mackey Heating and Air, Mel's Diner, River Valley Community Bank, and by Robinson Sand and Gravel, Roseville Auto Mall, and Auburn Trophies.
Comes the punt, and it's a good one. Lavelle Davis lets it bounce to 20. Now he picks it up 15, breaks one tackle. He's at the 25, coming around the corner, 25, 30, 35, 40. Lavelle might be going 50, 40, 35, 30. Goodbye, LB. Won't see you in the end zone. Touchdown! Placer Hillmen! Now you got 3rd and long, 10:57 to go from the Rio Linda 15. 3 wide out to the near side. Bonilla drops back, zips it forward. Sideline intercepted at the 20, 15, 10, firing touchdown! Placer Hillmen! Number 11, Paul Shepard. The Hillmen have come out gangbusters. They lead 20-0 with 7:09 to play in the first. .3:15 to go, 2nd and 11 coming up from the Rio Linda 19. They go back to the play action ball to the corner, and it's tucked in the end zone. Touchdown! Placer Hillmen! This defense has been the story. They had a sack. They've had an interception return for a touchdown. They've started to get better and better as the season goes on. Bonilla in the shotgun. Hands it off. Ron had nowhere to go there as the Hillmen were all over. Loss of a couple. Bootleg. Downfield. Pass is intercepted near the 24 by the Hillmen. Kernex snagged it out of the sky, and he returns it to the 31. Off the the middle. Lavelle Davis across the 30, 25, still going 20, 15, breaks another tackle, and he's inside the 15-yard line. Lavelle Davis is like a Mack truck going through a brick wall. Nobody can stop Lavelle this year. Gonna give it up off the middle, and it is Gage Carlotta going into the end zone. Touchdown, Baxter Hillman! And the Hillmen are just gangbusters right now. You don't know where that football's going.